Howdy.
What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, man.
Wonderful.
Thanks for having this conversation.
Yeah, of course. Oh, you don't need to be nice to me now. It's okay. We can go straight from angry on Twitter to angry over call. There's no need for the pleasantries in between. Okay, so you wanted to argue about Bernie or bust?
I don't know exactly what you're supposed to be arguing here, because the idea of voter shaming, you're not convincing anybody. Like you hurting your cause more than you're helping it. So like I don't understand what we are debating here. Are you trying to tell me I should vote for my oppressors, or are you telling me I should vote for someone who did harm to my family with his policies?
Yeah.
So this is why I'm literally. Well, go ahead. Like, what exactly are we debating?
Oh, yeah, you should do that. Yeah, if the person you're referring to is Joe Biden, then yeah, of course you should. If the person you're referring to is Donald Trump, then no, you shouldn't. Well,
You mean in terms of I should vote for?
I'm sorry?
You mean like in terms of who I should vote for?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I think you should vote for Biden. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's a good opinion of yours, but there's no reason for me to vote for Joe Biden. There's no reason to me to give up my leverage, because the idea that you're gonna have someone who's gonna be a one-term president, you're gonna influence his administration, even though he already shown the fact that he have no willingness to move left at all, even on basic concepts like legalized weed. Now, this is my problem with your general premise. Your general premise is that we always give up policy issues that are dear to us in order to make you comfortable, and in order to make your movement comfortable, even though there's no coherent
movement?
I don't know. Like that's why we hear the conversation.
Are you a fascist? Wait, I thought we were both socialists. Why is it my movement?
If you vote for a fascist, you're complicit, in my opinion. If you want to call me a fascist, that's fine. I don't care about your opinion.
No, I'm just you said my movement. You're like kind of implying I'm not a socialist, which is weird. Yeah. So I mean,
socialism is a wide tent. If you're voting and you're complicit with fascism, you go ahead and do you. I don't vote shame people, because everyone have their reason for voting for the way they vote.
Do you racism shame people? Wait. Do you racism shame people?
What do you mean by that?
Like, for instance, if you had like a friend of a friend and they walked up to you and they called you the N-word, then spat your face, and you were like, whoa, that's pretty fucked up. And your friend was like, whoa, dude, don't racism shame people. There are probably legit reasons why they're doing that. Do you think that would be like a good counter argument, or do you think maybe we should make prescriptive statements about how people should behave?
I fail to see how those two things connect, when the only way we can put pressure on politicians to move is if we can't vote for the people you want to influence. Because if we already give your vote away, you're not gonna change the needle.
You don't have any leverage as a non-voter. The DNC doesn't give a shit about you. The DNC only cares about people who will vote. So by demonstrating that as a voter bloc, you aren't interested in voting for a candidate who's already capitulated to the left, they're only going to move further right. So you don't have any leverage to play off of right now. You've already demonstrated.
Hey, we voted for Obama twice. Obama moved to the right compared to how he campaigned.
Yeah.
So when I'm asking you to explain.
Are you saying John McCain? Wait, are you saying that John McCain and Mitt Romney would have been better for America during those time periods?
Did I say that?
Huh?
Did I say that?
Oh, so wait. So you agree that Obama was the better choice?
Are you going to let me talk? So your claim was, if you don't vote for them, they're going to move to the right. We voted for Obama twice, and he still moved to the right compared to how he campaigned. So your argument is incoherent.
I said the DNC would move to the right. Wait, that's not a counter argument. He could just wait. Hold on. You need to chill out for a second. So
they won't move to the. I'll show you an example how they move to the right even when we vote for them.
Wait.
So your plan is to vote for them.
Wait.
Right?
Can you hear me?
Joe Biden still supports the Patriot Act, right?
Wait, can you hear me?
He's in favor of supporting police budgets. See, when I say I'm part of Black Lives Matter, and when I was in part of the protest, I'm not saying you didn't, because I don't know what you do. When I say I advocate for defund the police, I fucking mean it.
Wait,
you're not going to put a cop.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I don't think we have much bandwidth. In chat. Wait.
Internet is not great.
Yeah. You should probably cancel Cam as well. Not that I mind looking at your face or nothing, just so there's more bandwidth to go between us. Okay, yeah. So, okay. So, wait, what were we talking about?
Your argument was, if we don't vote for the Democratic Party, they're going to move to the right.
No, wait.
How does that make sense?
Wait. That's just one small part of a larger argument that I have. The larger argument is that you're an idiot if you don't vote for Joe Biden. And then there's a million supplementary... Wait, you accused me earlier of interrupting you, but you are consistently interrupting me every time I open my mouth. So my general argument is that only an idiot wouldn't vote for Joe Biden. And then I have 1,000 supplementary arguments. One of which is that the DNC as an organization is only ever going to try to appease people who they think will vote for it. And if lefties don't vote, that indicates that they are not going to have an interest in capitulating to us.
Citation needed. So when we voted for Barack Obama 2 times, like I said,
do you want me to explain to you how this? You want me to explain to you how this example doesn't prove the point you think it proves? How do you know for a fact that if we hadn't voted for Obama, we wouldn't have had? Wait. First of all, this actually proves my argument. We voted for Obama, and then in the 2016 presidential primaries, we got Bernie Sanders, who was the second runner-up. That proves my point. We voted for Barack Obama, and by indicating progressives had an interest in voting for Barack Obama, we opened the stage for the DNC to allow people like Bernie Sanders to gain prominence within the DNC.
And then how did Bernie lose, Vaush? Bernie lost because the entire establishment went against him. And they know they can get away with it.
Bernie lost because you guys suck shit at organizing. Because there aren't enough Democrats who believe in leftism. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to take the reign back from people like you because you're really bad at convincing liberals to be leftists.
I highly disagree because I don't have your platform yet. I got 40,000 followers in 1 year, so I doubt that. But now back to your point, Bernie Sanders lost despite winning the first 3 states. He had the best ran campaign because the centrist coalition came together and there was a massive mainstream media blackout.
This is irrelevant to the point I was making.
It is relevant. It is relevant.
No, it's not.
Because how are you going to win 2020?
So the argument, listen, I know you're really mad, but we have to go by this point by point. So the point that I'm making is that voter blocks who don't vote don't get capitulated to.
You ignored my point. You just straight up ignore my point because your argument is that the DNC is want to be more. They want to be more inclusive to us if we wanted to vote for the party. Meanwhile, we had the candidate that was leading. He won the first 3 states, and they did everything they can to stop him.
Wait. So how do you? This has nothing to do with what I was talking about.
So what's your plan, Vaush? This is why I've been asking you. What's your plan?
This is my problem with wait. I said we can just go from angry on Twitter to angry in here. I take it back. You need to calm way the fuck down. So. My issue is I don't think you understand any of the shit you're talking about. You're just following Twitter headlines and you're just like angrily reciting injustices towards me.
So you insulted me because you're defensive.
Why are you interrupting me?
Why
are you interrupting me? You seriously, you need to calm down. You're not even talking with me right now. You're just mad.
You didn't let me finish my point. That's why I'm getting upset.
Okay, but we can go point by point and we can talk about why your points are bad, but we have to go point by point.
Oh, go ahead, Vaush. You're next since you don't want to hear my argument because you know you can't beat it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Right. So, in order to demonstrate a principle, you have to control for confounding factors. What if it is possible that not voting for Barack Obama as a progressive or leftist bloc in 2008 and 2012 would have made the DNC even more hostile to Bernie Sanders in 2016 because we had indicated that we aren't interested in participating electorally in the system? Do you know for a fact that wouldn't be the case, or are you just making assumptions?
You the one making the assumption there because I said you're going off a situation that we cannot gauge right now. What I'm doing, I'm going on a situation that we can gauge. Do you understand what I'm saying there? You are doing a hypothetical. We got a real life example on how you're wrong because you said
you didn't understand. You didn't understand the point I was making. So I wasn't presenting a hypothetical. I was asking you. So in order, okay. So let's go back to the very beginning. The concept of causality. Wait, hold on. The concept of causality rests on the idea that things happen because things in the past happened. So in order for you to make a point, you can't just point to 2 things that happened. You have to indicate there's a causal relationship between A and B. So the argument that I'm making is that your point doesn't support the concept you're trying to prove, because nothing of what you're saying indicates for a fact that voting for a DNC candidate means it's less likely they'll support a more progressive candidate in the future. Like, what leverage do you think you have over the DNC right now?
We don't have no leverage because of people like you.
How?
And
wait. Bernie Sanders has extracted like a dozen concessions from Biden.
You're not going to interrupt me. Vaush, you're not going to keep doing that. Now, your argument is if we fall in line with the DNC, they will be willing to be more progressive. And the reason why we lost our leverage, now let me go back to the original tweet that you put on your video. You got mad at me because I attacked Bernie Sanders, and my criticism of Bernie Sanders isn't that he endorsed Joe Biden. We all knew he was going to do that. But what the fuck did Bernie Sanders get for us? I don't know about your situation.
Wait, is that an actual question? Wait, please tell me you're actually aware of the concessions Biden has made to Bernie, and don't make me actually run through them and treat you like a child. Please tell me you actually know.
No legalized weed.
Huh?
No Medicare, no legalized weed. And at the end of the day,
wait. You realize that pointing out two concessions he didn't get isn't the same as saying there are no concessions. You actually don't know, do you?
I do not have the list in front of me. I can easily get the list. And I can.
So you don't actually care.
If you're implying that I'm supposed to memorize the entire policy,
wait, how can you say that no concessions have been made when it's a fact that concessions have been made?
If you don't support Medicare for all in the middle of the pandemic, your policy platform is trash.
Okay, so you didn't answer my question. Wait, you didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my. You didn't.
If you have 100 billionaire donors, and then Wall Street celebrates when you pick Kamala Harris.
You're jumping all over the place.
No, I'm not, because this is.
Do you know what? Wait. How about you list? Wait. Show me your knowledge. Show me your knowledge. What concessions were made? What concessions were made?
You're not going to change the subject here. You're not going to change the subject.
Wait, I'm not changing the subject. I'm trying to keep you down to the subject we're on. What concessions were made?
Boss, I'm asking you this.
What concessions were made?
Do you believe that money in politics have a corrupting influence on politics?
What concessions were made? You should know this. You don't have a right to complain about any of this if you don't know.
That's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it was literally concessions made by Biden is literally what we're talking about right now.
I don't think. Now, even the other concessions, how about to trust even to go towards the concessions when you have all these 100 billionaire donors that they literally laughing at the policy task force because they know he's not gonna do shit. Obama promised a progressive policy. So what's the difference between now when Obama promised a progressive shit than now when Joe Biden did? You sound super naive right now. So you really believe?
I'm gonna ask you again. Do you know what concessions were made?
Go ahead and list them.
No, wait. Do you know? I'm not asking you to list them. I'm asking you if you know. You don't know anything.
No Medicare
you don't know. All. You don't know. Wait, I'm not asking you what concessions weren't made. I'm asking you what concessions were made. You don't know. You don't know anything. You're lost. No wonder you're so angry.
So, did Joe Biden promised not to repeal the Patriot Act?
Can you just say you don't know? Wait, can you just say you don't know? Why are you like this? You realize you're coming off like a fucking idiot right now, right? Like you don't know and you're not even like willing to admit it. Like just say you don't know. Just say I'm not aware of this critical electoral issue that I just staked this argument on. Just say it. Just say you don't know.
Vaush.
Why can't you just say it?
I literally told
Why can't you just say it?
I don't have the list in front of me. I literally don't have the list in front of me. But the most important stuff that he needs to adopt, he didn't adopt. Because everything else he already adopted anyway. There's nothing that shows that he would even fight to get those implemented in the first place. And then if you don't support Medicare for all in the middle of the pandemic, if you don't support a living wage, if you don't support a Green New Deal, how the fuck? Because I know one thing he now thinking about it, now I actually have to collect my thoughts. I know he said he want to limit carbon emissions before 2035, which is not fast enough. The scientists recommend, and us in the Sunrise Movement recommend, that he need to do it by 2030. So he started out with 2050. He only moved back 15 years, but he still leave 5 years off.
Okay.
On top
so wait, hold on. So how about we rephrase your argument? So instead of you saying he made no concessions, How about you say he did make concessions, just not the ones I wanted?
Medicare fraud. If you don't have Medicare fraud, that's not a concession. Just because Medicare fraud don't mean shit to you, don't mean that doesn't mean it's not.
Wait,
that's
what makes you think Medicare fraud doesn't mean shit to me?
Boss, let me finish. Because if you don't support Medicare, that tells me everything about the values of you and your party. In the middle of a pandemic, you wanted to let people die because they don't have health care, or the fact that they willing to go into vast amount of medical debt.
Okay.
And just because you don't
do you think I'm anti-Medicare for all?
What?
Do you think I'm anti-Medicare for all?
Did I say that? But apparently it's not.
You actually did directly say that.
You don't want to vote for a party. You want to vote for a system that will guarantee Medicare for all wouldn't even touch the a vote for 12 years.
So
because I'm trying to ask you, explain what your long-term strategy is, boss, and you won't explain it. You are too scared to explain your long-term strategy because you know the Democrats can easily rig the 2024 election because you gave them permission.
So
you gave them permission to do that because you say you're going to vote for them.
Okay, so the struggle that I'm having right now is you're saying like 8 different stupid things every time you talk, but I'm trying to focus on this one point. So first of all, would you acknowledge then that concessions were made, but these weren't the concessions you were looking for? So Biden did make concessions to Bernie Sanders. However, they weren't enough for you, or they weren't the ones you were looking for?
I listed the one I have on top of my head right now, and he did not. Even the one concession he did. You actually
can't answer anything. You're just an NPC. Like you just have your dialogue tree.
No, you want to control this conversation because you don't want to explain your long-term plan.
I'm just asking you simple questions. I just want to know.
This is a conversation, boss. You're not answering mine. You just want to be in control of this entire conversation because you know you don't have an answer to the long-term.
I'm trying to ask you.
Boss, because you're trying to get me to vote for Biden. I don't give a fuck who you vote for. Okay. I could not give a fuck. Okay. You're trying to get me to vote for Biden, so you got to explain your strategy. I don't have to explain my strategy. Why do I have to explain my strategy to you? I don't owe you shit. Black people don't owe you shit, boss.
Okay? And what the fuck are you talking about? I wouldn't have brought you on if I had thought that you had like some sort of neurological deficiency. You're actually acting fucking unhinged right now. I'm literally just trying to go point by point. This is embarrassing. I'm cringing right now. This isn't just passion on your part. This is embarrassing.
That's not an argument. That's not an argument.
You haven't made an argument. Can we go point by point?
You can't. No, you're not going to by my points because when you say point by point, you want me to only answer your questions, but you don't want to explain your line of thought.
No, we haven't even gotten past the first. We haven't even gotten past like the first point. Like we haven't even begun the conversation. I'm just trying to frame the discourse here.
All of this is relevant. You just don't have an answer to it, so you're trying to deflect. Because you say when we started this conversation, once again, let's go point by point. You said the Democrats will be more willing to move to the left if we vote for them, even though history haven't shown that. And if you give them a reason to want to rig the election, and they know you're going to vote for them anyway, how are they going to move to the left? Joe Biden already said that his plans is to pass on the reins to Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris. Meanwhile, you want to vote for him, and you want to give them permission to rig the election against progressives, which is exactly what they did. They had a massive Bernie blackout. You had the media that poured billions of dollars in free advertising for Joe Biden. So what is your strategy to stop that from happening? After you vote for Joe Biden and you literally legitimize your claim that centrism is electable over progressivism, how are you going to have leverage to get Medicare for all 2024? And versus my idea, where if Joe Biden loses, that means Barack Obama,
you're not even asking me anything.
Yes,
you're just ranting.
What's your long-term plan? What's your long-term plan? Because your long-term plan is incoherent. Your inherent thesis doesn't make sense. You want us to pressure Joe Biden after we already voted for him. Why the fuck would he be pressured if we already voted for him? And the fact that he will be a one-term president, so he don't have to worry about re-election in the first place. Explain that.
Explain what?
Man, you're just as dumb as a lot of people say you was. It's a very simple concept,
I just have to say, wait. I just want you to know that I'm actually really glad that of all the random screenshots I took from the responses to that Bernie tweet, yours was the one I settled on, because you are actually the stupidest leftist, the most incoherent person I have yet talked to. The fact that there is even a single person online who thinks your arguments are worth listening to is an embarrassment to me. The problem is I would like to talk about this with you. Wait. Hold on. It's okay. It's okay, my dude.
You can say insults all you want, but that's not convincing when you haven't made an argument. How the fuck is your theory of change gonna work?
I'll just mute him. I'll just mute him. I'll wait for him to finish. He's still going. I don't even think he knows he's been muted. Hello?
Bro, so you muted me?
Yeah, but you're unmuted now. It's okay. They can hear you.
That afraid
don't make me do it again. You literally don't respond to anything I say. You're not even talking to me.
When we see how they think, because you have not laid one argument out this whole time.
Can we do a test? Wait, can we do a test? Like a Turing test. Can we have a short conversation that's not about politics? So I'll ask you like how your day is, and you can answer, and then you'll respond. We'll do back and forth, and we won't interrupt each other, and we'll both not sound like lunatics. Just briefly. So I just want to see. How's your day today been, apart from this conversation?
It's been good, man. I'm having a blast right now, actually.
Okay, I'm really happy to hear that. So you're enjoying this conversation?
Yes, because this is an important conversation.
Okay. What makes you think it's important?
Because as a leftist movement, whether you want to think I'm an ally or not, it's important to hash out strategy. Okay. What I think is harmful and what doesn't accomplish anything is vote shaming, and which you have been doing, especially after I watched your video where you calling people who actually been on the streets and actually knocking on doors trying to get policy implemented, and you calling them grifters. Because
when did I do that?
I guess you did that on the video you was talking to me about. If I misremember that, I'm deeply sorry.
But I didn't call anyone out specifically.
But you called.
I just generally spoke about like the anti-electoral tendencies.
You said that. Once again, I got a lot of shit going on right now. So if I misremember, I'm not trying to misremember. I'm not trying to say you did something that you didn't. So that's why I believe happened. So
yeah, I wasn't targeting.
When I saw your video and I seen you punch and left, I'm asking myself, what the fuck is that supposed to accomplish? Because when I see the reaction towards that, the only people that are happy are people that was going to vote for Joe Biden in the first place. The only thing you're doing is pissing off people who are less fortunate than you that can't afford to live on Medicare for all for another 12 years.
Wait. So, a couple of things there. First of all, it wasn't punching left for me. I consider you to my right. And with regards to, I don't know why you keep saying I don't care about Medicare for all. I do. I've always been an advocate for Medicare for all, at least for as long as I've been a leftist. I don't think allowing Trump to win will get us Medicare for all any faster. And I do think that Biden's healthcare plan, while by no means perfect, is significantly better than what we would get under Trump in the meantime.
And I think that's a fair argument. My problem is Joe Biden has no credibility. I don't believe for one fucking second that he's gonna get his healthcare plan, because the reason I didn't support Bernie Sanders just because he said he's gonna support Medicare for all. You know why I supported Bernie Sanders? Because I supported Bernie Sanders because he had a coherent step-by-step process on how he's gonna get Medicare for all implemented, how he's gonna put pressure on senators, put pressure on people in power. Do you think Joe Biden is gonna put pressure on Joe Manchin? There are blue dog Democrats that are not going to sign on to any kind of healthcare reforms, and Joe Biden will have no plan to get that done. So I didn't support Bernie Sanders just because he said he was going to do it. Like I wouldn't support anyone just because they said they will run on Medicare for all. I want to see your plan.
So you think Joe Biden has no credibility, is more likely to implement healthcare reform than Biden?
I didn't say that.
Then who's more likely?
Trump is a moron. But he actually floated Medicare for all in the middle of this pandemic. He didn't follow through with it because his advisors talk him out of it, but he floated that idea.
Trump is a massive liar. Like you say that Biden has no credibility. Trump lies. Almost everything he says is a lie.
So both Trump and Biden won't say nice shit to get people win over to Medicare for their healthcare plan. And you're dumb enough to fall for Joe Biden, even though he been.
Who do you think is more likely to reform healthcare? between Biden and Trump.
What's more likely, 0% or 0?
So you think they're equally unlikely?
You brought up a major assumption and showing your political, you're very naive.
I'm just asking you. I'm literally just asking you questions right now. I haven't even stated my position. So you believe they're equally unlikely?
They're not. Joe Biden is not going to do shit for healthcare.
Okay, so you're of the opinion that Trump and Biden are equally likely to do nothing on healthcare.
Both Trump and Biden will be responsible for a healthcare genocide. Both of them. That's my point. Because when you see 68,000 Americans die each year because they don't have Medicare for all, and that number is going to be even higher since we're in a pandemic.
Why
what can you call that other than the health
questions?
I am answering your question. I'm answering the way you don't like. But
no, I'm not. Wait. That is true. You're answering the way I don't like, and that you're not answering the question. You're answering a separate question, which is true. I don't like that.
Because the burden of proof is on you, Vaush. This is my whole thesis.
I'm not even. I'm literally just asking questions. I'm not even asserting
I'm not trying to get people to vote Biden. I'm not trying to tell people to vote third party. I'm voting my conscience. I tell people to vote their conscience. So there's no reason for me to try to convince you one way or another. The burden is on you to explain to me why I should vote for Joe Biden.
I'm not trying to convince you to vote for Joe Biden. I'm asking you basic questions so I can understand what arguments I'm supposed to make. I have to know your positions before I can critique them. That's why I'm asking you questions. Yeah.
And that's why and this is the point, because your strategy to vote shame. This is why I'm literally showing you why it's not effective. Because you're not.
Can we just answer enough questions so that I can make a point?
You get frustrated at this conversation. This is why this conversation is dumb. We're having a conversation about lesser two evils.
The conversation is dumb because you are, not because the conversation is unimportant or because it's not worth having.
You can't coherently make an argument how you don't put Joe Biden.
You can't even answer questions. I'm just trying to ask you questions so I can know what to say.
I am asking questions.
Okay.
I am answering your question. It's not the way you want me to.
So you believe that both Biden and Trump will pass no healthcare reform?
They both will be responsible for a healthcare genocide.
Yes or no? False? Do you believe they will both pass no healthcare reform?
That's fucking irrelevant. They both will be. They'll both be complicit with a healthcare genocide.
Do you believe Biden and Trump will both pass no healthcare reform?
How can you say something that
this is unbelievable to me?
How? Because your question is bullshit, Vaush.
It's yes or no.
I'm supposed to know what's going to happen.
Well, I'm asking what you believe, not what you know. What do you believe?
I told you already. I don't think Joe Biden will do shit on healthcare. And you trying to completely.
So you believe they'll both do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know why.
100%.
Okay.
Because.
Okay. So.
I said once again, I mentioned before on the call. I don't know what you think we're going to accomplish here because you're getting frustrated at me because I'm not buying into your premise. I
haven't made a premise. I haven't argued a premise yet.
You asked
I haven't made a positive argument once yet. I haven't had a chance to. We haven't even gotten that far. You're actually the least productive conversationalist I've ever had in the history of this channel. That's not a joke. I've talked to neo-Nazis, I've talked to incels, I've talked to terrorist advocates, and I've never met a person as incapable of having a conversation as you.
Because there's no conversation to have about the lesser two evil who people should vote for. Who the fuck are you to tell me who I should vote for? I've had this conversation with other people before. And because okay, fair enough for them. But you're not gonna tell me who I'm gonna vote for, Vaush.
I haven't tried to yet.
At the end of the day.
I haven't tried to yet. Again,
that's the whole point of it.
I haven't tried to.
What are we debating? What exactly are we supposed to be debating, Vaush?
So in debates, normally what you do before you make positive arguments is you try to clarify the positions of your opponent. We haven't even had a debate yet. That's
because you're running away from my question. Because I asked you to explain how you put Biden to the left, and you have not answered that question.
How about wait? And that's why can you ask me a question? Do you know what a leading question is?
What does the fuck I have to say? I have to say, Vaush?
Do you know what? Wait. Can you? If you can ask me a non-leading question, I will answer it. In fact, I'm ceding debate authority to you because I have clearly failed to wrangle you You can ask me any question you want and I'll answer it. It has to be non-leading. So you can't say something like, why are you okay with Biden killing millions with no health care? Because that's leading. I'm not okay with that. But you should ask me questions like, how do I think blank will work? If you can do that, I'll answer it.
That's what I did at the beginning. Your claim was that the Democratic Party will move to the left if we vote for them, but that hasn't been shown to be the case under Obama 2 times. So what exactly would be different for Joe Biden, and how will you push him to the left when he only plans on serving 1 term anyway?
So there are a few questions there, but I can try to answer it. So the DNC as an institution is primarily interested in assuming a sort of perpetual control over 1/2 of the American political discourse. That's their goal. That's one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders ran for president as a Democrat, even though he had been in the Senate as an independent, because he, and along with pretty much every other political actor, recognizes that the DNC has a monopoly on left-leaning political engagement, particularly with regard to presidential elections. So, with that being said, the DNC's perpetuity relies on the idea of them tricking their voting constituency into believing they're representing their interests. It's very important to the DNC and to the people who represent the DNC that the voters believe the DNC represents their interests. After all, if every Democrat hated the DNC, we would see a very different political environment. There are plenty of Democrats who hate the system, but not that many Democrats who hate the DNC, or who hate Pelosi, for example, who is pretty representative of the DNC in its current state, alongside, I guess, Obama and Hillary Clinton to a lesser extent. So what we need to do as leftists is show these Democrats that they should not trust or like the DNC. Now, most Democrats are too normie, too sheeple, if you will, to recognize how fucked up what happened to Bernie Sanders was in 2016 and in 2020, in this election as well. So we need to try and get them on more approachable, manageable axes of frustration. For example, right now, today, Democrat support for the DNC is very, very high because the DNC hasn't had to do shit in 4 years. All the problems with this country that we've been weathering, Democrats have been blaming Trump because Trump is the obvious boogeyman. Now, if Biden wins, I don't think Biden is going to fix this country at all. I think he'll be marginally better in some respects. I think that his approach towards climate change is much, much, much better than I expected. And there are some other issues that he definitely has like the hard, correct line on. For example, he's probably not going to send federal troops into black bag protesters, at least maybe not as much. He's probably not going to just remove healthcare rights from gay and trans people just for like literally no reason. That's also a good thing. Abortion rights will be more secure, Supreme Court appointments, so on and so forth. You know, not perfect, a little bit better. But all the major problems in this country are going to continue to exist under Biden. All the major ones, particularly with regards to COVID-19, global financial crisis, inflation, what have you, stagnating wages. And now that we have Biden in office, alongside progressive or even socialist Democrats who have a better, can show a better way, Democrats are going to wake up to the idea that these problems in America aren't just a product of Trump, they're a product of the system, something that goes beyond party. And they're going to see people like AOC or Bernie Sanders, the Squad, whatever, these progressive candidates, and realize, like these people have been saying, it's not enough to be anti-Trump. You have to be anti-capitalism. And that's what I'm looking to do. I think showing Democrats the failure of Joe Biden is the best way to radicalize them towards the left, because showing them the failure of Donald Trump isn't radicalizing them towards the left at all. It's just radicalizing them away from Trump. That's my position. It's not about Biden's position. It's about his relative position of weakness and what we can do. That'll be our job in a Biden presidency, to be the shining city on the hill. So the Democrats will go, hey, I thought Biden would fix things. And we get to go, no, he was never going to fix things, but something else can. And we pick up those pieces. That's what I dream of. I think that's the most effective strategy moving forward. I spent a lot of time talking with historians, and this actually seems to be a very effective way of radicalizing people to the left previously. There are mirrors of this plan that took place in the Weimar Republic in Germany, which had far more socialists than we do in America today, and other European countries, and in Latin America as well. You show them the failings of the order, and then you show them a better way. That's my plan. I know I've talked for a while, but you asked me sort of a very broad question.
And I think that was a good explanation. I really do. You said that liberals will be more radicalized if they're exposed to how bad Joe Biden was. How can you think that the case when I personally believe Barack Obama was a travesty, but they still hold him to be a savior? They still believe that his biggest tragedy was the fact that he wore a tan suit. The reason why they believe this is because they got complete media complicity, and they will not actually shine the light on Joe Biden or Barack Obama and their scandals. So the fact that Barack Obama, in my opinion, was a tragedy, but they still held him as a hero, and the fact that he still have a lot of influence in the Democratic Party, it seems like that just proves your point, because they're obviously not being radicalized by the actions of the Democratic Party. They are being radicalized by the actions of Donald Trump, though, because you got more people that moved to the left ever since Donald Trump got in office than you ever seen under Obama. People didn't care about ICE under Obama. People didn't care about the fact that Obama was the reporter in chief. People didn't care about the fact that Obama killed brown people overseas, which I argue liberals still don't care that Trump does that. But your argument that they're going to be radicalized under Joe Biden doesn't make sense on face value, considering the fact that they wasn't radicalized by Barack Obama.
I think the main difference is during the Obama term, there wasn't really an American left. We didn't have a Bernie Sanders or a Squad or any of that. Obama was the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, or he represented it. And even after this to me comes off as a very anti-Marxist position. To me, the material conditions which led to people's radicalization aren't really a product of the presidential candidates in office. I don't think that America would have been more or less left-leaning after a presidency of Mitt Romney or of that other fucking guy who's dead. I think that, generally speaking, we're radicalized by economic and social conditions that advance, McCain, thank you, that advance regardless of the president in office. The president in office is just responsible in large part of taking the blame. Now, under Obama, for the most part, America was pretty put together with regards to social cohesion. We had, of course, the 2007 financial crisis. We were still reeling from post 9/11. We had a war in Iraq and Afghanistan. But the level of social tension in the country was pretty minimal compared to what we're experiencing today. But a lot of that tension that we're experiencing today, I don't know how much of that is because of Trump. I think a lot of that is in large part just because the internal contradictions of neoliberalism are beginning to grind against one another. And today, all the Democrats just blame that on Trump. Orange man bad, But under Biden, we can get them a little further. Even with Obama, it was, after all, after Obama's presidency that we saw the rise of a little-known, independent senator who would then become the most prominent socialist political candidate in the history of the country. Over the course of Obama's presidency, whatever he did, he brought Democrats over to the idea that somebody like Bernie Sanders might be a good political candidate. I think to a large extent we underestimate the effect having a sleeping left during the Obama presidency really had. And I'm only making the positive argument right now, but frankly, I think that if Trump wins another term, we're not going to get a chance at a fair election in 2024 either. I don't think we're even going to have like a shot. I wouldn't be surprised if a second Trump presidency would start to see stuff like people, like left-leaning people online getting arrested for their association with the terrorist group Antifa. Just as from reading The Room, like I have a feeling that I would be arrested under a second Trump presidency for doing what I'm currently doing. I have a feeling that would happen. So I feel like we're going to have to get a move on quickly.
So this is, yeah. So when Obama won in 2008, there was a massive anti-war movement in America. There was a massive it was very populist at the time, where people really thought Barack Obama would challenge Wall Street, because that's what Barack Obama ran on. So Obama started off really talking about ending the Iraq war, ending the Afghanistan war, and throughout the course of his presidency, he literally diffused the anti-war movement that was going on at the time by doubling down on his right-wing rhetoric, because people gave him his votes. So my whole thing is, and my entire thesis of this is, your concept that if we vote and fall in line for these people and that will get them to do what they want to do, it doesn't make sense because they're going to do what their donors want to do. And that's why I was trying to ask you, do you believe that money in politics have a corrupting influence? Because Joe Biden has 100 billionaire donors. And do you really think you, after already pledging your vote, will have more influence on policy than them? Do you really think that Joe Biden will betray his big pharma donors just to listen to the left that already been pacified? So
this is a bit of a pivot. Again, it's about what we can get Democrats on board with, not Biden himself. The point is that Biden sucks. I'm not saying Biden's good.
The Democratic Party is even worse. Like, they've been complicit with some of the worst shit that Trump has done.
People, the voters. I mean, we need to bring them to the left. We don't have enough socialists in this country.
We're not going to bring them over.
Wait. You don't think we can bring Democratic voters over?
The people who are super Bernie that formed a coalition to defeat him, the people who smear them, that's after Obama. That's after we vote for them. That's while Donald Trump was in charge.
Where do we pull our support from? Who do we radicalize if not Democrats? I mean, we can get some Republicans, sure, but I think Democrats are a way easier pull.
We've seen this election that's not the case.
They
fought tooth and nail, and they did everything they could to rig this primary.
Wait, there haven't been this many socialists in America in a century. Bernie Sanders radicalized millions.
And what did that get us? We got 30% of the Democratic Party, which is mostly young people, independents. And then you have the liberal class, who all rally behind Elizabeth Warren, people who just Kamala Harris, and then they all rally behind Joe Biden. So how are you going to radicalize people who, after seeing the disaster...
The number of socialists in this country has exploded over the past 5 years, in large part due to Bernie Sanders and people like Bernie Sanders. That's a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, wait. No, that's my point. That's a good thing. We moved Democrats over. We moved the voters over.
I don't see how we disagree on that, because if you look at the amount of people that are socialists, it's largely young people, and they're the young people that came out and drove for Bernie Sanders. But if you look at the older voters and the boomer voters who voted against Bernie Sanders en masse, at the end of the day, they reject the ideology. You can say they're socialists, you can say whatever they want, but at the end of the day, they rejected the ideology.
They didn't. For one, a lot of them didn't reject the ideology. The main reason people voted for Biden was for electability. Bernie Sanders' ideas are fairly popular amongst Democrats. We have an incredible, ripe base of people who we can radicalize right now, and we need those. We need those warm bodies. We can't do that by just convincing them that the source of all the problems in this country is Orange Man bad. We have to show them the failings of the Democratic Party. That's why Bernie Sanders was so successful back in 2015, 2016, because he played off the disappointment of Democrats who saw that nothing fundamentally changed under Obama. It was through the failure of Obama and Obama's unwillingness to actually hold true to the progressive ticket that Bernie Sanders was able to literally, over the course of a year, probably expose millions of Americans to socialist ideas. And we have never been more powerful in American history, save possibly for a short period of time during the pre-war period. And we did that because we, A, capitulated on a Democratic presidency by exacerbating the frustrations of alienated progressive Democrats, and B, because we played the electoral game. And that's why it bothers me so much when people like you shit-talk Bernie Sanders when he's done more for leftism than conceivably any other American in the history of this country.
And I would easily concede that point. Bernie Sanders has done a lot, but it's also important for us to continue to push him, because I think him not pushing Joe Biden to get Medicare for all, I think him not pushing him to get legalized weed, I think that's a big misstep.
He tried to do both those things.
And you can make that argument, but I think we should not let elevate politicians to the point where we can't criticize them, and that's exactly why I did.
I'm fine with criticizing Bernie. I just disagree with the criticism. But he tried to get both of those concessions. He just didn't. He got other concessions, but he didn't get those ones.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, he got a fair number. 2 years of college free, write off of debt for millions of students. I mean, There were some serious concessions that were levied, not to mention one of the most progressive climate change policies of any current official in the world. I don't have a problem with criticizing Bernie. I just think a lot of lefties think that Bernie is falling in line or something like that. Bernie Sanders right now, I think, is doing the literal best that he can for advancing the agenda of socialists in this country. I don't know. Just a lot of lefties just like being angry. It just doesn't fix anything.
And you mentioned that I get Bernie Sanders did do a great job, and I'm still very proud of Bernie Sanders because he moved the country. But you mentioned earlier that voters voted for Joe Biden because they believe he was the most electable, and the reason why they believe it was because you had the mainstream media repeat that over and over and over and over again. Yeah. So if you validate that talking point and Joe Biden wins in 2024, they can do the same thing to harm the progressive movement.
Do you think they're going to stop doing that in 2024 if you don't vote? Like in 2024, if all the lefties don't vote, you think all the big corporations and media moguls are going to go okay, this time let's give a fair shake to the socialist candidate?
No, but Bernie Sanders' electability numbers way closer in this time than was compared to Hillary Clinton, despite the media doing that. Because despite the fact that the media said that Bernie Sanders wasn't the most electable, we can easily respond by the fact, well, Hillary Clinton lost in 2016, and I think we was able to make it closer before they all coalesced together. But if Joe Biden wins, there's not even a counter argument we can make because they can just say, hey, we don't need you guys anyway because you will fall in line at the end of the day.
But they don't need us either way. That's why we need more numbers. We don't have enough socialists in this country for our voting bloc to actually matter. And in order for us to radicalize people, I think the best way to do that is through the failure of a Biden presidency. But right now, we have nothing. Whether we vote or don't, on our own, at the numbers we have right now, nothing will change.
Yes, the short term is going to be fucked. And what I don't understand the long term, because you say that we have radicalized Democratic Party voters against Joe Biden, but we didn't see that. We just didn't see it.
Wait, but we did. But we went from socialism being an exclusively dirty word in every circle in America 10 years ago to our socialist candidate coming in second runner-up in heated races 2 times in a row. How can you say we haven't done anything?
That's because the Democratic Party is awful, and they're going against the power by 89% of the party, and they're not because they are being radicalized by the Democratic Party because they see that our healthcare system doesn't work, but they still feel like they got to vote for Joe Biden because they believe he was the electable one. Because at the end of the day, being Trump is the most important thing.
A Trump presidency won't change that.
In 2024, when you had Tucker Carlson, you have Tom Cotton, or you had Trump Jr., they're going to terrify a ton of people, and then they're going to default to the same thing. And then you pretty much validated the point that that the centrist candidate, the candidate that Obama endorsed, would be the most electable. You'd have the moderate Republicans that Joe Biden and the Democratic Party are appealing to, and they know that left is going to fall in line no matter what.
That's the argument they don't care about your votes right now. You're a tiny minority. It doesn't matter to them.
That's why
we need more socialists, and we can't do that under Trump.
Trump has radicalized a lot of people.
Bernie had the same amount of proportional support from the Democratic Party in 2016 as he did today. Trump's presidency has not radicalized people. It's only shown the Democrats that Trump is bad. We need to show the Democrats the DNC is bad.
When Joe Biden loses in 2016, people are like, "Oh, we must vote for a Democratic Socialist because we've seen neoliberals lose twice." And that helped down ballot candidates because everyone will see that the neoliberal candidate is more likely to lose.
That's not how it works. No. In 2024, if Biden loses again, they're not going to go, okay, this time let's risk it all on a less electable candidate. They're going to go further right. In 2024, if we lose twice to Trump, if we lose to Trump today in 2020 after everything he's done, they are not going to accept further left. They're going to platform somebody that makes Reagan look like a fucking leftist, okay? The Democratic Party will never give us another shot if we fuck this up again, and they'll blame it on us either way. They are not. If we can't win against Trump after everything he's done with a candidate like Biden, they're going to go with Bloomberg in 2024. We don't have the leverage to demand far left candidates after we've demonstrated that even Biden is too left for the Republican Party.
That doesn't make sense. Like,
and meanwhile, and every year you play this game, more of your people die. Your people, black, brown, middle class, or poor.
Under Barack Obama and Joe Biden tanked black wealth. Like that was them. That was.
I don't know what you mean by take black. I don't know what you mean by take black wealth. But Biden's healthcare plan is undeniably better than. Huh?
Barack Obama and Joe Biden tanked black wealth. They deported Mexicans in mass and they bombed Muslims. The only community they didn't harm was the white community.
Wait, what does that have to do with now? What does that have to do with Trump versus these people?
He doesn't continue these same policies. They already say they want more police budgets. They already.
Do you know why they say that?
Supporting the new Jim,
do you know why they say that?
The new Jim Crow.
Do you know? Wait. Do you know why they say that? Don't just repeat it. I've read New Jim Crow. Do you know why they say it?
Explain.
They've said that because raising police budgets is one of the best way to ensure the implementation of 8 policies, which have been mathematically and sociologically determined to significantly lessen the degree of racial bias and police brutality in cities. They're not raising police budgets because you crazy Antifa Democrat thugs need to be put in place. They're proposing raising police budgets to keep in line with the general rhetorical goals of Black Lives Matter. Do I agree with that implementation? Not necessarily. But to suggest that them wanting to raise police budgets is the same as Trump saying he's going to raise police budgets is completely ridiculous. These are two completely different approaches towards policing.
That's a technique they always use to judge police budgets and don't really pass.
I can't argue against conspiracy. If you think that Biden is just going to turn back on every single platform that he campaigns on, then obviously.
That's why I said this argument, this debate not going to go anywhere. Because you trying to sell Joe Biden when he don't have credibility in my eyes.
I'm not trying to sell Joe Biden. I'm trying to sell a technique for radicalizing socialists that works. You're trying to sell a delusion that if Trump wins in 2020, they're going to bring a far-left candidate on the DNC for 2024.
No matter what you do, Vaush, this is where we disagree. It don't matter what you do, whether you vote for Joe Biden or you refuse to. The Democrats will never willingly field a far-left candidate.
Then why don't we make it so there are more socialists?
We would never concede without struggle. Do you really believe they will concede without struggle?
No, the point is that we struggle. That's what I'm suggesting. You're the one. You're advocating inaction. I'm the one suggesting we struggle.
So we struggled under Obama.
So wait, is struggling good or bad? Struggling under Obama led to Bernie Sanders and millions of new socialists. If it wasn't for Bernie Sanders, yes, winning isn't immediate. Sorry, the socialist revolution has been broiling for 170 years now. We're not going to win tomorrow. But stepping towards victory means getting more socialists. And the more socialists we have, the more leverage we have to platform candidates who we care about, the more voters we have to meaningfully push forward socialist agendas. And I'm advocating for that, for radicalization.
And
that's the struggle.
My whole point, and I haven't seen you answer this. Like, how are they gonna move left after you pledge your vote for them, especially when Joe Biden have no reason
Biden to move left. I want the voters to move left.
But the Democratic parties will never ever move left. They will continue to fill candidates.
The Democratic Party is a conglomerate of a million different interests. One of which is its voters. We can move voters left. The DNC, it doesn't have brain chips in all of its voters. We can move them left. Yeah. My chat is filled right now with people who I've moved to socialism.
There was a study that's shown that we are an effective oligarchy, that the wants of the people do not get implemented.
This isn't. No. I know the study you're referring to, and it doesn't say what you think it says. First of all, that's in reference to policy positions regarding economics. Second of all, that study had bad methodology, and third of all, that has nothing to do with the candidates we're voting for. Fourth of all, there wasn't a complete non-correlation between the will of the people and what actually happened. I'm familiar with the exact study you're citing. You don't want to cite it again. Okay, listen. I just want to radicalize Democrat voters.
The entire point is that they don't listen to the will of the voters.
Okay, like, then why did AOC get elected? Why did Bernie Sanders nearly win 2 elections? Was that just an accident? If they fucked up all those times, then we can capitalize on their fuck-ups in the future.
And this is the disconnect between you, because you don't have the sense of urgency that I have.
28 million Americans. You will have us all dead. You will see us in mass graves. I am trying to move us quickly. You're literally saying I have no sense of urgency when you're trying to get Trump in for another term. I don't think we're going to survive another Trump. I'm pretty sure you're going to be dead with a bullet in the back of your head after another Trump. Okay?
I'm not trying to do shit. I'm not trying to do shit. Joe Biden is crushing Trump in the polls. And just like they say, they don't need me. And they've shown that they don't need me to win. And
this is irrelevant.
I think the best way that we have to make real change is through attacking the two-party duopoly.
I'm not. Wait, do you think I don't attack the two-party duopoly?
I didn't say that.
Okay,
I'm trying to vote in a way that's destroy it. Not you. If you vote for Joe Biden, the only thing you're doing is emboldening them. They know at the end that you will vote for them.
I feel we're just going in circles. Listen, do you recognize that in order for socialists to win in this country, we need more socialists?
Yes.
Okay.
I acknowledge that.
And do you recognize that after 8 years of Obama being a disappointment to Democratic progressives, we saw an unprecedented upsurge in socialist organization within the Democratic Party, which not only led to Bernie Sanders nearly winning the presidency of the United States of America as a socialist twice, but also led to the elections of multiple congressional and senatorial candidates who are either progressive or openly socialist leaning?
I'm not arguing against that, man. I'm arguing the fact that
recognize. So you recognize that because of Obama,
dude, you're not challenging my point. Because I said they will always fight us, even if we have socialists all over the government.
Wait, is struggle good or bad? I'm advocating for struggle. I love struggling.
Good.
Yes. So the struggle is going to be a Biden victory, and then spending 4 years agonizingly arguing with liberals and K-Hive dumbfucks that it's actually capitalism that's the problem and not just Trump. That's my struggle.
The mainstream media will do nothing but defense for Joe Biden in his time.
That's irrelevant to what I'm saying.
Yes, it is relevant because we literally seen your theory.
So just give up? You want to just give up? How does your solution avoid giant multi-billion-dollar media conglomerates shit-talking the left? Do you have a solution to that, or are you just bringing this up as a problem that we would both face?
Because if we have a large voting block, and the DNC sees a large third party that's to their left, and they see that's
we're not a large voting block. 87% of Bernie supporters said they're going to be voting for Biden.
That's why we organizing for people. That's why we got Nina Turner. That's why we have Dr. Cornel West giving speeches at the Move for. There is a giant movement to put the Democratic Party to the left, and you're not joining.
No, wait, I am joining. No, you're the one not joining. You're not participating. You're folding your hands in the air and refusing to participate in the process that moves parties left.
So we can do this. We can do this again, Vaush. I'm not cutting you off because of message, but I am starving. I'm getting late. So do you got anything you want? I can give you another 5 minutes so we send it in the clean. I honestly don't have that much time, but we can easily do this again, talk more. But this is one thing I really want to get out of you. So we've seen all the shenanigans that the DNC have done to tip the scales against Bernie Sanders in this election. We see how they outspend Charles Booker 10-1. They do everything they can to defeat and destroy the
prevent this from happening.
So I think at the end of the day, because the reason you lay out, and I actually pointed this out before, I think it's only a matter of time for we're going to win because we have the youth numbers. The question is, how many people are you going to say?
Where do the youth numbers come from?
So, under your plan,
where'd they come from?
We have Joe Biden who will win 2024. So you're not letting me finish, man. So we had Joe Biden who will win, Joe Biden who will win. He resigns after 2024. He passed the shift off to Kamala and Pete Buttigieg. They put billions of dollars of free media to help get Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg. They can pretend to be socialists. They can put socialist platforms on everything. They don't have to believe it. They can just say they're going to do it.
They're not going to pretend to be socialist.
They do that.
Do you know what socialism means, or do you mean pretend to be a progressive?
You're not letting me answer you're not letting me finish this inquiry. So we have potentially 12 years of neoliberalism we have to deal with on your strategy. How is that not bad going forward with Donald Trump?
Okay.
Now they go in 2024.
Do you remember what I said about leading questions? You loaded the fuck out of that question. Like, you're not asking me anything. You're just like ranting and then asking me to punctuate your rant.
You're not letting me finish.
So there are like 40 things wrong with your incredibly stupid premise. So hold, I can respond. Okay, So, first of all, nobody's pretending to be socialist. They're pretending to be progressive. Nobody even came close to repping how progressive Bernie Sanders was during his presidential run. Second of all, you haven't made an argument for how what you said would change anything. You haven't made an argument for why the Democratic Party wouldn't just move their political candidates right after Trump wins twice. You haven't made... Right now, Joe Biden has made multiple concessions to Bernie Sanders. If Biden loses again, you know what the DNC is going to think? Damn, we moved too far left on that one. Guess next time it's going to be Bloomberg. You haven't responded to that in any way, shape, or form. My argument is that after Biden wins in 2020, we go to 2024, and Biden has done such a horrible fucking job managing the country that we've managed to convince a large number of Democrats that we need a genuinely socialist option. And in 2024, alongside Kamala Harris, somebody like Bernie Sanders rises up, and we cast our votes for that person. And if we don't win that time, we do the cycle again. I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris 2024 if that socialist candidate doesn't win in the primaries, and we do the same thing again. The framework of neoliberalism crackling under the increasing materialist weight of the contradictions of capitalism. And every new year of neoliberal ownership is another opportunity for me to convince liberals that it's not the presidency that's the issue, it's the system the presidency resides within. And slowly but surely, patiently, through struggle, I will move as many people over to socialism as possible until we are such an overwhelming majority of the Democratic Party that not even the oligarchical efforts of the mainstream media are capable of preventing us from getting our political candidates in office. That is what I want.
That's fair, man. But I don't see how you put Joe Biden to the left after pledging his vote for him. And I haven't seen you make the argument that he's gonna move to the left after voting for him. I don't see the argument for how the Democratic Party is gonna move to the left after you pledge his support for him. You say it's gonna happen, but we don't see evidence of that. I don't see any reason why they move to the left, despite very basic, very popular ideas like Medicare for all. They still refuse to support it. Legalized weed is very, very popular. They refuse to support it. So your thesis that they're going to move to the left, I just don't see how that's
not
coherent.
Them. The voters. We move the voters to the left. The party will follow the voters. That's why Bernie Sanders was an option in 2016.
They're already there. They don't listen to
it. The party is not completely independent of the interests of the voters. The party doesn't just do whatever it wants. The party does need votes.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I said, we can hand it on that. Like I said, I don't see how that's a coherent argument that they're gonna move to the left after already pledging to vote for them, because we already see that the voters agree with these policies.
Because we lost this time. We lost in 2020. Bernie lost.
And we only have like 5-6 progressives, and you know how long it will take to actually have a take over the Democratic Party? Like
AOC is the most popular politician in the country. What we're doing is not insubstantial.
I hear you, bro. We can end on that, but it's not your theory. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, and we haven't seen the Democratic Party move to the left with you pledging a vote for them. The only thing they have done, they doubled down on foreign policy, they doubled down on being war hawks, and they doubled down on refusing to defund the police, refusing to support Medicare for all, and the list go on. So I don't see how your method is supposed to accomplish anything. So
all right, well, have a good meal, man. He just left without saying goodbye. Oh my god, I think that guy was actually too stupid to understand what I was saying. Like, I really tried there. At first he came in, I don't know if it was the bad mic or if it was just his disposition. I don't know how well he could hear me, but that motherfucker would talk over me so fucking hard.